Pascal Gross has agreed to sign with Brighton again. This comes after 1.5 years wearing a black and yellow shirt. To be honest, my first reactions when I saw the Fabrizio Romano post was surprised, since we signed him with the hopes of him establishing himself as a true sort of 6 or 8 midfielder and sort of hitting the ground running where he left off at Brighton. And the 2024-25 campaign, all things considered, to be fair, was okay. I think he produced 13 assists and 1 goal across all formats. This year it's been vastly underwhelming. Only 1 assist to his name, I think, or 2 assists. And other than that, he's just kind of been a shadow of himself, really. And so I think this move, at the end of the day, is good for both parties. Brighton get a proven midfielder back, perhaps at the end of his career. And with Dortmund now, they have the opportunity to sort of unveil Jobe Bellingham, and he can become an integral part of that midfield alongside Sabitzer and then Mecha. So I think Dortmund's looking to really put forward those 3 players with the hope of Sabitzer then perhaps selling him in the summer, who knows. But I think it's really around building that trust, that partnership existing in the existing 6 positions with Jobe Bellingham and Felix and Mecha, because really Pascal Gross was cutting into that game time. Maybe they'll try and fit in Carney and Jobe alongside there. A lot to be seen what Kovac will be doing, but in principle I like the move. I think Pascal Gross also was trying to make a case for himself for Germany 2026, so perhaps that move going back to Brighton will prove to be successful. Time will tell. Dortmund, by the way, get just under 2 million of that transfer fee, so not a big move in the grand scheme of things. Nonetheless, something noteworthy. I think also one thing that has to be said is Dortmund are right now in the transfer market for Oscar Bobb, and if Dortmund could land him on loan, that would be sensational, because obviously he can add that depth on the wing, a position that Niko Kovac doesn't like to fill. Now, we understand from rumours, from reports, that not only Karim Adeyemi will be departing Borussia Dortmund next summer, but probably also Sergio Grassi, and there is a huge chance that Nico Schlotterbeck will follow. So Dortmund really right now should be looking at player profiles, trying to fill the gaps that will become open next summer, and perhaps then alongside Ansel Minho, who they've also loaned out, try and sign the Manchester City player Oscar Bobb on a permanent deal. So a lot of turmoil. Dortmund sort of in between different players' contracts, a lot to be discussed. But as of right now, Dortmund are without Pascal Gross as he returns to Brighton. A lot to be seen about the Dortmund midfield, and it does leave a bitter aftertaste, if you can say that. I think Pascal Gross, sort of in the recent years, was kind of hoping to emerge as Germany's clear-cut midfielder, and he struggled to do so. And that signing from Dortmund was a failed signing if we look at it in the grand scheme of things. Right, 1.5 years, did play 30 games in the Bundesliga last year. Right, was a solid part of that midfield, but he just failed to have an impact and failed to sort of give Dortmund that in and out of depth possession player that they needed and they've longed for so long. And so now you're thinking to yourself, okay, obviously we signed Jobe Bellingham 30 million, third most expensive signing. What can he bring? So I think now very much it's the verdict, the jury is out, and we'll see what Jobe Bellingham can produce.